Let's talk about some cool riffs for soloing in rockabilly. If you've ever been in an improvisational situation, it's always a good idea to have a couple of riffs in your back pocket that you can pull out of your hat. Take a 1-4-5 12-bar progression with a medium to fast swing feel. This is probably the bulk of what you're going to run into playing rockabilly, especially in a fill-in or improvisational jam situation. You can always rely on these riffs to get you through, or by filling in space in between coming up with your own ideas. You can throw in these riffs that you basically have built into muscle memory. You know they're going to work, they sound cool, and they're fun to play. Some of these you may have heard before. I'll go over a few ideas in A, and remember a lot of these riffs can be transposed into any key, but we'll stick with A for now. Now, I put all these riffs together, but you can use them in any order you want. Transpose the key for an individual riff, or just use the one you like in between coming up with stuff on your own. And as always, I put a link to the guitar tab in the description box below. All right, so I'm going to break those riffs down just a little bit. So I start off with one of these. Now, you've all heard that before, and you can just play that on its own. But I mix it up a little bit, and I go to one of these rock and roll riffs. And then I go to one of these. And you've all heard that before too. And you can also start off a solo just doing that. But I'm showing you this so you can see how you can mix and match different ideas together. And if you're doing one of these, you can always keep it going too. Or use all three fingers. If you're going that fast, it really doesn't matter. Then I do that same thing again. Stop on the 5 there. Then we go to the 4, and here I'm on the D, and I'm basically just playing off of a walking bass line. The 1, 3, 5, 6, and flat 7th. And I just do this little hammer-on pull-off on the flat 7th here. And I walk chromatically down from the 5 to the 3. I usually pull off the last note, but you can play each note individually if you want. And I walk back up to the A. But we're still over the 4 there, so you want to make sure that you're going to the D and just walking up a D scale. And then I just kind of do a quick bend to the minor 3rd. And you mess around with different scales. Mix in the major and the minor, play around with different modes. Then don't forget, you don't want to get stuck here in this box. There's always this. And you can play off of that, just like you're doing something here. You can do it here. And do double stops, which is what I've chosen to do. Then walk down this bebop thing. And when you're in A, you can go from the C and bend it to an open A string. If you're in a different key, you can also just go. So if you were in G, you could do this. It's right there. Then here on the 5, I do this classic rockabilly riff where you play octaves. You just find the 5. In this case, it's the E. And you play an octave, and you just chromatically climb up. Usually with that, you're starting on the low note first, and then the next note up, you start with the higher octave. It's kind of alternating back and forth. And then here, I just finish it off with this double stop triplet, just like this, except you're playing 2 strings. And then sharp 5 to the 5. And then here we go to this classic rockabilly riff where you go A on the 10th fret, F sharp on the 11th fret, pull off from the B, down to the F sharp, to the C, pull off to the A, down to the F sharp. And then you just back and forth. And then you slowly build up the speed. And then I've chosen to finish it off with this little bend. And here you're over the 4 again, and you can either tuck the pick up or not, play it with the pick, and slide chromatically from the E flat or D sharp or the B to the E natural and C natural. Then play the low A on the 7th fret, then back to the E flat and B, then up with your little finger on the F sharp and the D on the 7th fret, then pull off from the F and the D to the E and the C. Back to the A. And to build up the speed, of course. Then you go to the 1 and you do the same kind of thing here. And it's always a good idea to pick this with your fingers, usually your 2nd and 3rd finger. Now here it's on the E and the C, and you're doing a hammer-on pull-off. Then to the F sharp and the D on the 7th fret. Then you pull off to the E and the C, down to the A on the 7th fret. And you just keep repeating that. Then I go to this bebop scale over the 5. So you're just walking up a major scale there, and you're playing those passing tones between the F sharp and the G sharp and the B and the C sharp. You walk right up to the E. So you can see how those different ideas can fit together. You throw in the bebop scale and you can do this riff. And then here, you end it with something like this. Now you can end it a bunch of different ways. You could do something like this, or do something like this, something like this, or like this. All of those riffs will work. I've just chosen to play this. So you can see sometimes I'm playing riffs like this. But sometimes you need little transitional riffs to go from one to the other, like the thing I was playing here coming out of the D. So when you're going from one riff to the other, that's when you want to start thinking in terms of scales and modes. The best piece of advice I could give you when it comes to improvisation and soloing is to just listen. Listen to different players and songs. Listen to the rhythm of the solo and the melody that's created. And learn some of your favorite solos note for note. This can help you to see how modes and scales and riffs are implemented. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video around, leave a comment in the comment section below. That kind of stuff really helps the channel. And you can click that notification bell to let you know when new videos drop. Don't forget to check out our live stream every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, where we chat about music, gear, and have some fun. You can also go a step further and help the channel by becoming a YouTube member or signing up on Patreon. I put all the information in the description box below. So thank you guys again, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.